Hey, we're back with more Devil May Cry 3. Since this game is rough to schedule around because the stopping time can be like plus or minus 30 minutes, depending on how long it takes to get to a checkpoint. Today we're scheduled for an hour and a half, but we might go as long as 2 hours, depending. So let's pick up where we left off. I left no notes for myself last episode. I just said, Future Marstead, this is Devil May Cry, deal with it, try to lock on enemies. Which, I mean, fair. Graphics. Hey, Bertizzi, how you doing? There's nothing you really can know. Spectacle brawler. Shit's ridiculous and nonsensical. Maxed out the force feedback for this. Controller's going insane.
Are you gonna go?
Yes, I'm going to finish him off.
Well, you might as well forget it, because you're no match for him.
Regardless, I must go. I had a chance to stop him before, but I couldn't. I'm responsible.
Game seems kind of quiet in the Equalizer. I'll turn it up a little.
Responsible? Does it bother you that much?
He's my father. Besides, who else can undo what he's done? A demon like you wouldn't understand.
Father and family, huh? Well, I'll go too. But you better hurry if you don't want me to take all the credit.
Drive. Charge upward toward the sky. Okay. Flash gauntlets and greaves. This set boosts Dante's attack and speed, making him a lethal weapon. Is it, they serious? Usually you only get like weapons after you beat a boss. This game tries to be both a do you have any armor? Both have a Metroidvania style like open castle and have like discrete levels. I don't know if it works. Can't really tell you. Let's see how fast that is against actual enemies, I guess. Blessed with a Sacred Light. That's specifically my new one, right? Shit. know if I can get better combos than this. 'Cause this is the only weapon I can attack it with, is this one. I see, like, this?
Come on, wimp.
Yeah, Platinum has kind of developed the genre a little bit further. I think Devil May Cry is... I would say it's more important than it is good. I think there's a lot of people who would disagree with me that are fans of the genre. I think it kind of established the cool combo-based gameplay, which I think is perfected in something like Bayonetta. This one's much better than Devil May Cry 1, and Devil May Cry 2 is an embarrassing shit show. Assume I don't have to go through that door to progress. I hate those little combo mini games. They're like borderline inscrutable. Yeah, I do have to go through that door. Don't tell me I have to do this. As far as I know, that's my only combo. I guess I can try doing some aerials. Looks like it gave it to me. Thanks, game. Oh, hey, thanks for subscribing, Bear. How are you? Appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks again. I'll reach out to you, I'll shoot you a whisper, or if you're on Discord, a Discord DM about picking a game for me to play for about an hour for Subblock. So if there's a game you'd like to see me play, let me know. Gotta attack these guys from behind. I killed one of them. Thanks, Revenant. They're a really weird enemy. Ouch. There it goes. Any more of these guys? No. Thank goodness. The structure of this game is unusual too. Like sometimes it's structured in a way that you can't accidentally go back to screens you've been to and get lost. Sometimes it just lets you do just that. Oh, thanks very much. If you don't mind me asking, what was the first video that you found on YouTube, Pear? Or what do you primarily watch? Gales and flames. Okay, well. Temperance Wagon. See, I feel like I did this last episode and then I'm going backwards right now. Which is alarming because backwards was blocked behind a... Come on. Blocked behind a new thing that required this, like, fist weapon that I just picked up. I think this fist weapon makes more sense once you get some more, like, combo upgrades for it. The cool band music. I think there might be an extra attack for attacking while locked on. A level 20 Final Fantasy 14 character. I'm very concerned that this is backtracking. This looks familiar. See, this seems new. And it also seems like they wouldn't have me do these events with cutscenes if I'd been in this room before. Crazy! I think the devil trigger just makes me want to play Beautiful Joe. I wonder if that game holds up. It's a strange dungeon. think the whole Devil Trigger thing in Beautiful Joe is a reference to this, but that's also a Capcom game. See, this seems to suggest I've never been here before. Blue orb fragments. Piece of heart. Can't afford that right now. I think I want to unequip Beowulf because it's not very good, it seems like. Oh, cool. I'm excited to play Thea the Awakening too. Or is it not the Awakening now? I'm glad you've been enjoying it. Thanks again for subbing. If you think of a game you'd like to see me play, feel free to shoot me a Twitch whisper and I'll get you set up. Supposed to be able to do something here? Wow, I don't know what I did to cause that to happen, but I'll take it, I guess. I've definitely been in this room before. So all I can think is that I found like a shortcut to go back to a room I've been to before. Which is very strange. I think I would be lost here, like, even if there wasn't a gap in between sessions, because it opens you up into a new room that you've never been in before, and there's a door that has effectively a lock on it in the form of use your weapon and get a high combo, right? Love Planet, I remember this boss fight. Nothing else to do here, right? Or just let me backtrack as much as I like. Okay. Try going forward instead of backtracking. This game would benefit a lot from a mini-map, I think. I'll try to just retrace the steps I just took. Possible this door over here was locked before. Don't know why I'm not allowed to do anything here. And so there's going to be like a boss fight here later. Or if there's like an item I need to pick up in the new area I just unlocked that I'm going to bring back here is also possible. I guess the like crazy campy cutscenes are this game's strength, and the basic combat system, not so much the like level and dungeon design. Am I gonna fight dudes in this thing again? Looks like it. Blast. This guy. Crazy. Talked about this in previous Devil May Cry episodes, but something that is challenging for me about this series is, and this isn't just true of Devil May Cry, it's true of like Bayonetta as well. Like, the difference between playing the game well or optimally is holy water can fend off demons. It severely damages nearby enemies. Okay. Like, if you know what you're doing in a boss fight, the boss can die in like 30 seconds, maybe a minute. If you don't know what you're doing, you're like potentially grinding the boss for 15 minutes. Which I imagine is really rewarding for players who value the mastery side of the equation a lot. But I guess, from my perspective, if a game wants you to play it a certain way, or there's a certain way to play it that's more fun, like I like when the game makes it so that's the only way to play it, and that there's no way to like limp to victory in combat, if that makes sense. Coming back on where we were at the start. I think they may have let me come through here earlier just because, like, what if I need to backtrack to get some things that I missed? But it's weird to put it behind a lock. I think you can play Devil May Cry wrong, or you can play Bayonetta wrong, right? Like, you can play the whole game getting stone trophies on every level. And I guess it feels fine. It seems like if you're willing to put in the effort to play Bayonetta right and get platinum trophies on every level, that is pretty amazing and actually quite difficult and challenging, and there's a certain way you gotta do it. But it's presented as a thing that you don't have to do, I guess. It's completely optional. Yeah. I think that's why I like stuff like Hollow Knight and Bloodborne so much. The way the developer wants you to, it doesn't have to necessarily need to be the cool or the fun way to play, but the way they want you to play is generally the only way to play. Some exceptions, you can start to break Dark Souls toward the end and just kind of like face tank everything with Havel's gear. Am I supposed to like run up the side of this thing? Looks like it. It did say to climb when I zoned into the map. It's been 24 minutes, oh my god. Seriously, what do you want me to do here, game? Let's see the name of this mission. Okay, let me look it up. Devil May Cry 3, Lair of Judgment, Ruins. Let's do Lair of Judgment Ruins. No, this is saying that I did have to backtrack. Hold on. Oh my god. I was going forward because it wants... Okay. Not very long. I don't think that's a special thing for this. I looked up a guide and it says that where I was 20 minutes ago was actually correct, so... Or where I was going before was correct. Combat Adjudicator in this mission is the only one in the entire game that's required to be destroyed because it blocks the door. What the Jiminy heck? I feel like I should leave notes to my future self to, like, just go read the wiki for the next level. Just look at what the sequence of zones needs to be. Or you're gonna have a bad time. Things like in the cutscene, the lady like grapples up to the top, right? And it's like climb. But no, I guess it wants me to go this way. Fight these guys again. Blast him. All right. First try. Like, this room is different than a couple of the other rooms which are familiar. It did spawn new enemies, which is usually an indicator that you're going the right way. I think the environments in this game are okay. It's more that, like, the level design is arbitrary, if that makes sense. Like, if not the like design of the areas, but like the, if you picture this as just like a wireframe and like how is the camera moving, what is it drawing the player's attention to, you know. I'm completely willing to accept that I'm bad at games sometimes and I get lost, and that's completely on me. But I think it is possible to make a game that is harder to get lost in while still feeling expansive. Wow, I was like 3 steps away from this. It's fine. The fuck? Graphics. Christ. That's what he meant by climb the tower. Not the tower that was in front of me. Go whip a motorcycle and then drive up the side outside the tower. That was a scene. Wow. Yay! Very silly. It does stuff like that and you're like, okay, it knows that it's silly. Obviously it does. I think this one probably is better about that. The first Devil May Cry, I seem to remember taking itself, while it was over the top, it still wanted you to take it seriously. It was like, you can't do both, game. I can't take this seriously. The gun billiards. I think a lot of the crazy stuff that happens in cutscenes in this game is the kind of thing that you would like do in Bayonetta. But Bayonetta also has crazy shit in the cutscenes, like shooting off the cherub's dick. Yeah. I wish I could articulate what feels off to me about Devil May Cry. Like, kind of intuit something's up with the level design and the combat and the cutscenes and stuff. Because, like, the gun billiard scene and, like, a guy flying through the air and, like, using a motorcycle as a weapon is hilarious and cool. I try to think on it more, but something about it just, it doesn't feel... I kind of feel this way about Bayonetta as well. I don't hate Bayonetta, but I also kind of don't get Bayonetta. I really didn't like the combat in Nier Automata. I liked everything else about Nier Automata except for the core gameplay loop. I wish it didn't involve Platinum Games at all. It was made much worse by having a leveling system. It's like, it's a combat system that's built around trying to make the player look cool or feel powerful or something. I don't know. I like the little hacking parts and the bullet hell stuff, space shooter parts. But like the Devil May Cry like brawler parts where you're just swinging the sword around, that was a big fan of. I think it comes from a point of view of like, can I make decent progress through your game by just mashing the button and not thinking about what I'm doing most of the time? If so, I'm probably going to be unenthused by the combat, and I think I'll get extra frustrated when out of nowhere, like a boss fight will suddenly require you to pay attention, even though like the last 3 bosses have all been very mashable and limpable, right? I felt that way about Nier Automata, that most of the content was pretty trivial to mash the attack button and you would just win. Kingdom Hearts style. Then occasionally you get a fight that you would get pretty punished for not being on par for the level in that region. Like I said, it's something I'd have to think about more. I think there are multiple competing things going on that make spectacle brawlers not click with me. It's not just the combat, it's not just the cutscenes, it's not just the way the story is presented or the way the levels are laid out. I feel like I should play the original God of War games on stream. I did play the first God of War a long time ago, so I don't remember very much from it. But I'm curious if I would have the same problems with them, because I think I wouldn't? Maybe that's not fair, maybe I would. I can do anything else in here, right? I love God of War 2018. Like, that game is my jam. Elevator control switch. There's 3 indentations. Okay, let me try not to backtrack too far here. Make sure there's nowhere else. It might have to do with, like, spectacle brawlers tend to involve creators who are very focused on, like, scene-to-scene stuff. Like, all that matters is that this scene is cool. It doesn't really matter how it integrated into the part before or after. And Yoko Taro's not that way. So Nier Automata is a good, like, example of a game to give as a counter example, because, like, I think the basic structure of the game works for me. I like the order in which the scenes are presented to you and that kind of a thing. But I feel the scene-to-scene problem when it comes to, like, most of the gameplay segments. Anything that's like okay, now you're gonna fight 6 robots, right? Unless if there's some clear narrative focus to it, like, okay, now you're gonna fight, you know, the big group of robots that, like, are humping each other. Like, okay, I see what the point of this scene is, I see what it's trying to accomplish. Those ones are fine, but... yeah, I'm not articulating it very well. Like I said, I gotta think about it more. I think it might just be a me thing. Yakuza? Yeah, I think my least favorite part of Yakuza is the video game part of it. Like, I don't really care for the brawler crap. It's fine, like, it's fun to see the heat animations and stuff, but if you removed all of that and it was just, like, you know, basically a long TV show where you could walk around and talk to people and do some mini games and side quests, that would be fine. I have no idea where to go. I'm completely and utterly lost. Okay, this room is different, or accessible. It's fine. These are the dudes that I have to shoot, if I remember correctly. Yakuza is very concerned with like onboarding of the audience. It's very interested in presenting its world and its characters to you in a way that assumes that you are not in the creator's brain. You know what I mean? Like, I think the first game that made me feel this way was Bayonetta. I think I talked about it a lot during Bayonetta, that like, Bayonetta feels like there's supposed to be an anime or a comic book or a novel or something that doesn't actually exist, but the game assumes that you've watched or read before playing it. Shit just kind of happens, and it's not presented in any kind of sensical order. And like, I don't think I have a problem with any of the individual things that happen in Bayonetta. They're all cool. There's the David Bowie God guy, and there's the whole witches and angels and demons thing. Like, it's cool. I'm down with it. It doesn't seem to care about like bringing me up to speed with its universe. Or Halcyon Fragment. Like, I'm not really clear what Dante's motivation is. I think his motivation is to be a badass and to do badass things. But like, any given scene, I can't really tell you how I think Dante would react to something happening. Right, and that's across 3 games now, I guess. Well, I guess I technically didn't play as Dante in Devil May Cry 2, because Devil May Cry 2 is, by all accounts, a video game. Doesn't seem like that was right. Is there something else I'm supposed to be able to do in this room? See, that looks like a collectible. It is a collectible. What the? Okay. Sometimes this game has platforming. Kind of. But most of the time it doesn't. Or most of the time the jumps are very locked down, or there's like invisible walls or whatever. That was so weird. Blue orb, nice. Yeah, it's a question of whether the combat's deliberate or not. I'll give a lot of points to games that have deliberate combat. But then again, like, I enjoy Kingdom Hearts just fine. I mean, ish. I have a love-hate relationship with Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts is a game that every boss has mashed the Keyblade on everything, and it's fine. I'm really nervous about that suspicious room. I think these, like, wheel switches occasionally do things in rooms like 6 or 7 rooms away. And you kind of just have to hit the switch and then backtrack and see if it takes you somewhere new, I guess. Yeah. Maybe if the cutscenes didn't exist, it would change my perception of it a little bit. It does have very strong, well, this is happening energy. That's a good way to put it. Feels corny to say that I'd want to know more about the motivation for the things that are happening, like... I like playing games like this. Like, I hope Washu doesn't watch the VODs and go like, what the fuck? Time I put my sub-block games on, Marstead shits on them constantly. Like, I think this is really helpful for me to understand what I do like about games. What do I like about baffling games? Is that playing them helps me to better notice when things are working for me, you know? And there's obviously stuff in here that's good. Like, the crazy motorcycle cutscene was cool. I'm not gonna say it wasn't cool. Maybe isn't my cup of tea in the sense that, like, there's no sense of peril because in the cutscenes, Dante is, like, this invincible action hero. This is really... these guys are tedious to fight. I think they're immune to guns, too. It's making like a tinking sound that sounds like immune to guns. Okay, I gotta hit off there. I don't know why he sometimes just doesn't, he like no-sells my attack there. That time it landed. I have no idea. I brought it up many times before, but I think an instructive thing to think about is the first Matrix movie. Like, the first Matrix movie was, what was it, watershed film? It changed everything about how everybody did everything for like a decade, and persists in ways to this day. Mostly for good, I think. But the thing that's crazy to me is that the first Matrix movie is one of the most, like, tense movies in terms of the feeling of peril and concern for the characters. If you have the usual feeling like, oh, I'm watching Neo, Keanu Reeves is the main character, so he's probably going to be okay. But the story takes steps to demonstrate what the danger is. Like, when there's an agent, it's been thoroughly established that the agents are a threat, right? And so you can have these cool scenes where people are doing this crazy wire through and backflipping and dodging bullets in slow motion and stuff. But even like the slow motion bullet dodge scene is something that's like built up as a like, is it gonna work? Is it not gonna work? Like when he jumped earlier, he fell. Like it doesn't, even though it established all of these crazy, cool, badass, slow-mo, over-the-top, like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon style fight scenes, it tended to do them in a way that didn't undercut the drama. And I don't know if I can say the same for the sequels. See, this room almost looks identical to an earlier spider room, so I would have thought that I got turned around coming in here, but I think it's technically a different room. So I think a lot of people watched the first Matrix movie, and it inspired them. Okay, every time I hit this, I rotate the whole tower. Which I guess changes where I can and can't go. I think a lot of them were inspired by, like, the scenes themselves, as opposed to, like, the purpose of the scenes. And so you got a whole bunch of movies that, like, I don't know if you haven't seen Equilibrium, but That's a movie that's very concerned with being cool and not really like doing or saying anything or having any like tension or drama. Like something like God of War 2018 works because, like, you know, the protagonist is laughably competent and invincible, and in all the battle scenes he's like completely destroying everything in these crazy cool animations, just like the old God of War games. But like there's other stuff going on there that you're interested in, like what's going on with their pilgrimage to get to the top of the mountain to scatter the mother's ashes. Who was the mother? Is Kratos going to do this dad thing okay, right? Like, after I rotated the tower, is this room just like useless now? It seems like it. I don't think there's anywhere I can go in here. Okay, I can try rotating it again and see what happens. I think if I rotate it again, it's going to be in an orientation that I started in, so I might have to do it 2 times. I know I keep bringing it up, but I think it's safe to say that Devil May Cry wouldn't exist without the Matrix. Like, it owes a lot to that legacy, as do many things. Soundtrack even, right? Get some Rob D Club to Death in here. The essence of a game that when it cuts to credits should play a Rage Against the Machine song. Yeah, they kind of had a fundamental problem there with how do you give us a sense of peril when your protagonist is basically like a deity. I don't want to rotate that just yet. We've been talking about like puzzle complexity in video games, and like games that suddenly spike the puzzle complexity. They'll require you to do something like, you know, for 20 hours the game never involves puzzles that use the inventory screen. Like, it's trained you to believe that the inventory screen is never going to be involved in a puzzle, and then out of nowhere 20 hours in there's a puzzle that uses it, and you can go about and try to like rank the complexity of different kinds of puzzles. But like Devil May Cry has like mega puzzles. I guess they're nominally puzzles. The game wants you to go around and like here the objective is go collect the 3 fragments, right? But usually like the thing that I enjoy about a puzzle is the I see what you did there moment of going in the room, figuring out what the game wants me to do, and then piecing together how the developer indicated to me what I was supposed to do. But here, like, all these rooms I've been going into, like, there's apparently been some kind of thing where I'm rotating the castle. But whenever I rotate the castle, it's changing things in other rooms that I can't see, so I can't predict what my actions are doing every time I do this. It's very strange. Maybe. I'm curious if the more modern Devil May Cry games have better level design. But there were games that were out around this time that had stellar level design and stellar puzzle design. Enter the demon world. One must proceed towards the heavens from the central route. Yeah. Never let go of the Resident Evil origins. Everything else screams that this game should just be a big hallway. I think if this game was a big hallway, I would like it better. I think God of War is a big hallway. I haven't played it in a long time, but I seem to remember there not being very much exploration. Like, you kind of just travel forward, and there's a way forward, and then once you go into a new room, you generally can't go back because there was some kind of insane, cool set piece that happened that, like, destroyed your way back anyway, right? That was not what I meant to do, and that sucks really bad. Wait, maybe this... See, this looks like the room I was in before, but I don't think it is. I thought I just lost a shitload of progress, but I don't think I actually did. Okay, thank God. What do you want from me, game? Do you want me to go up the elevator or down the elevator? Right. Be interesting to try to figure out why is it that like Shadow of the Colossus is not a well this is happening now game, because it's a game that just it kind of throws you in there. It gives you a little bit of, hey, you're this guy and you're trying to like resurrect this dead girl, and you're kind of making a deal with the devil here. This is where I came from. I don't think I want to go this way. Yeah. So I did get sent back to the beginning. Fuck. Okay. And like, you just kind of wander around this big empty world, and you have a little sword that points you to where the colossi are. So you could say like, okay, well this is happening now, like, now there's a horse colossus, and I have to fight it, I guess. But there's just something about the way the horse is initially presented when you walk into the room with it, and things about its behavior. But like, I feel like the game is talking to me, and it's trying to say something to me, and it's trying to like get me to draw conclusions about what's going on in the creator's brain. And I can't see into the creator's brain in these games. I don't know why things are happening. I guess that's just there so that I can backtrack if I want to. Probably someone who completely understands this, like, tower rotation mechanic. So you play like Majora's Mask will have a dungeon where the whole tower, the whole dungeon is rotating. And there are like things in the room that are like recognizable landmarks, like, oh man, that big crazy statue that was previously right in front of me is now upside down, so the room's upside down. Got it. But I don't think that's what's actually happening. I think when it says the tower's rotating, it's just saying that the door that previously went to room A is now teleporting to room B, right? For reasons. And I'm dead. Where back is that gonna put me? Well, this is where I wanted to go, so I guess dying was actually calculated. Meant to do that. I was trying to find my way back here. This game. What the fuck? Graphics. Crazy cutscene.
He plucks the
Completely
threads
intentional
that
death
make us
warp.
dance finger and toe. We surrender, enjoy, to the lowest of the foul and rank. We submerge through darkness, rancid filth. Hour by hour, we move downward, ever closer to hell, in a slow, steady gait. Now, let the world resonate. Sloth, gluttony, greed, envy, lust, wrath, and pride. A bell of chaos that tolls human desires. After 2,000 long years, the once sealed gate to the demonic world will open. Destruction! Carnage and despair! Let your instincts drive you. Entrap this world in fear, as its very name, timid gloom, strikes terror into
Timid the Groom?
mankind. Then I will become the ultimate ruler of this wasteland, engulfed with pandemonium. The demonic power that Sparta once imprisoned will be mine!
Okay. SNESD make the head all the same nonsense, way more primitive would feel. I guess I'm trying to think what's a Super Nintendo game that's nonsense and is fine. Like we're talking like a Chester Cheetah 7-Up Man,
Now this is what I'm
Pepsi
talking
Man
about.
type game, or like a AAA Capcom title type game. Because I guess part of my judgment against a game like this and a game like Bayonetta is that it's obviously a pretty high budget and a pretty big team. Win or lose, stand up for your beliefs. Okay. I'm gonna just run through my head like Mega Man levels are all designed in a way that's sight readable and intentional, with secrets that are able to be uncovered reasonably by a player who's gotten abilities from other levels. Like, you might see something and go, oh, I want to come back and do that again later. Mega Man X is good. Super Ghouls and Goblins makes sense. I think part of it is all the games that are coming to mind from like the Super Nintendo era. Each of the levels feels like it's a distinct challenge. Like, you know, when you get to the clock tower in Castlevania, it's like, oh, now I gotta deal with these spinning wheels. And like, sure, I gotta like use my guns to shoot this bat thing, otherwise it doesn't die. But on the whole, every like enemy and boss in Devil May Cry kind of feels like I'm doing my combos, right? And now do your combos. I guess maybe like we played Landstalker on stream recently. That was a game where every enemy fight was go up and sword the guys, but it also had really interesting puzzles. Cool dungeon ideas and lots of I see what you did there moments. Maybe. Yeah, if that's the thesis or that's the theory, that maybe it's that the game is like trying to signify that things matter when they don't. I guess like Castlevania Symphony of the Night, or really any of the Castlevania games. He who perceives the eternal power of the golden sun, release me from the darkness. I feel like I've been in all these rooms before, but I think the game is also requiring me to backtrack here. Let's say the actual like levels in Symphony of the Night are completely bizarre and come out of nowhere and are not described and don't have cutscenes, right? It's like you're just in a region and you're like, okay, this is the swamp area. I guess there are mer people here. That's fine. I don't know why that is charming and fine for me in something like Castlevania, but it feels off here. I wouldn't even say it's fine in Castlevania. I would say I actively like it. Like, I like going to the new area and be like, oh my god, this place is, like, on fire. That's wild. What's that all about? Show me what this wants me to do, because I honestly have no idea. To do something with the golden sun?
Come on, wimp.
I don't think that means that they want me to have a specific weapon, right? Yeah, I'm gonna have to look it up. Win or lose. Sun and Moon Chamber. Castle with giant lava basement. Hold on, I'm trying to figure out what room I count as being in right now. I can check status and then map, maybe? Waking Sun Chamber. Oh, I'm just supposed to hit the ball a bunch of times. The fact that it moves is immaterial, I guess. I guess maybe it's a slight bigger challenge because it makes it harder to hit it before it gets summoned back up to the top of the room. I guess there were little purple cracks coming out while I was attacking it to try to convey that. But then the sign, what does the sign say again? He who pursues, oh, okay, it's just saying this is the golden sun back here. Release me from the darkness. What is this thing? About exploration, this is about battles. I get a lot of senses it wants to have its cake and eat it too about Devil May Cry. Maybe that's another problem. You're like only going halfway on stuff. Like it wants to have platforming, but not really. It wants to have an open castle that you can freely explore, but not really. It wants to have puzzles, but not really. And like, I have a lot of problems with Resident Evil. There's a lot about Resident Evil that I don't like compared to other horror and action games, but like, I think they're all sensically arranged, if that makes sense. That's where I just came from, isn't it? Hold on. Resident Evil 6 is a pacing nightmare. Like, the game is bizarre and it feels like it's missing all connective tissue. But like any individual level, for the most part, it's pretty clear where you're supposed to do, what you're supposed to do, where you're supposed to go, what's going on. Even if it's stupid. Or we missed a bunch of like flavor scenes in between. Triple dash. It's a cool attack. Okay, looking at an air dodge like in Smash Brothers. I actually like that a lot. Because you just have a strictly better dodge now. Maybe Party 6 comes across as like pure fantasy for me, especially in the later games. Like, the layout of this game isn't that different from Resident Evil 8, right? With a ridiculous fantasy village and redneck Magneto and all the other fucking weird-ass shit, the crazy vampire lady castle. I know you said slightly, but like, I have a lot of things that I disliked about Resident Evil 8, even though it had a lot of good moments. But it felt cohesive, at least, to me. might just be a stylistic thing. Like, was each part of this game conceived separately, or was it conceived holistically as an experience that connects from part A to part B to part C to part D in a specific order, right? Or are we just kind of going from set piece to set piece? Like, the momentary gameplay on this is generally pretty fine. I don't have very many complaints about it. Devil Star. Is that all that's in here? I'm not sure that I'll ever be able to put it together, because every time I start thinking about another game like Resident Evil or Shadow of the Colossus or something, I'm like, well, the thing I just complained about in Devil May Cry is definitely a thing in that too. But it feels right in that game and not in this game. I hate that I can't articulate why. It's driving me crazy. I could probably go through the games database and pick out a list of like a few dozen games that make me feel the way Devil May Cry makes me feel. Set piece to set piece works better in something like Uncharted, where it's a crafted linear progression. Yeah. And I think Uncharted is trying to take the step to ask, okay, well, how do we get from the crazy falling train sequence to the crazy collapsing temple sequences, right? Okay, so when it says he who possesses, what it actually means is if you want to possess, make whole the spheres. I mean, like, hit these into each other or something? I think so. Okay. Onyx Moon Shard. I feel like these games have to be the product of, like, just a handful of creators, right? Like, is there a guy who's the Devil May Cry guy? I may have asked this in previous episodes and don't remember the answer. I don't want to lean too hard on auteur theory because I think that it has a lot of flaws, but I don't think it necessarily needs to be a person who is like in charge of the creative vision and kind of directing everyone else. But I think that there needs to be like a sense in the team of like what this is all about and what we're building toward and what the point is. And this is interested, I'm sure we'll play the Assassin's Creed games on stream at some point, but in my mind I kind of think of those as like committee games where they doled out missions to a bunch of different people and there wasn't really anybody who was like, this is what Assassin's Creed is. But that's like almost entirely prejudiced from really, really disliking Assassin's Creed 1 when I played it for like 10 hours 15 years ago. Oh, I think I have to go back to the main elevator room. Deki Kamiya 2 to 5 been directed by Hideaki Itsuno. Okay, thanks. This is wrong, actually. Sometimes the lockout doesn't like to work. Oh, there's more dudes up here. Oh god, damn it. I just run past them then? There's not enough room to maneuver around these bird things. Oh my god, not again. Kill me. I'll get killed by birds again here. Just ignore the enemies in this room. Is that a possible thing that I can do? Giant. Oh yeah, back here again. We were here very early in the game. Vital Star S. I have 1 hit point, so I'm about to die. Basically immediately.
What's wrong? You tired?
We'll try to do
Then
one more
stand
chapter
back.
after
I'll
this.
take care of this.
No, you stand back.
I told you, you can't do it. Don't you get it? This is not a human's job.
You're the one who doesn't get it. It's not something you can reason with. It has nothing to do with me being a human and you being a demon. I'm driven by the inability to forgive him. My soul is screaming, demanding me to kill him. That's enough motivation to keep me going. Besides, this is my family matter. You should stay out of it.
Okay, lady. I get the picture, but I can't just sit back and watch either.
Hey,
I'm pretty
lady.
pissed at him too, you know. Now, get out of my way, or there'll be some consequences.
Fair enough. I wasn't planning on letting any demons live anyway. Not even one.
You die as soon as this cutscene ends. So I have 1 health. Yup. At least put me next to the room. That's nice of them. Oh man, she knocks me back constantly. I can't get close to her to damage her. Stop running!
Alright.
Okay, when she says that, she's about to shoot a missile at me. Got it. Can't meaningfully lock onto her, it seems like.
Get ready!
Okay. Pillar does not count as cover, it turns out.
Get ready!
Oh, this is kind of annoying. Okay.
Get ready!
So I can kind of punish her after she does that. You know, I don't know if I'm like supposed to sneak up on her or something. This feels kind of like a Metal Gear Solid fight, but like in a spectacle brawler. Ouch.
Are you scared?
Okay, I think it worked. That's not ladylike.
I'll take care of him.
Why do you care so much?
This whole business started with my father sealing the entrance.
Why do you care?
And now, my brother's trying to break that spell and turn everything into Demonville. This is my family matter, too. Quite frankly, at first, I didn't give a damn. But because of you, I know what's important now. I know what I need to do.
Wait.
Trust me, I'll make things right for you. That's what my soul is telling me to do.
Use this.
How much is it gonna cost me?
You can give me your name.
Dante.
Dante. Please. Free my father.
I will, lady.
Might not actually. Wash You subblock is technically 90 minutes. I just wanted to leave room to try to go over if we were stuck on a boss or something. So I might wrap it there, because that's pretty cleanly right on time. See how long this cutscene goes. Helena Ann. A gun with lady's mother's name etched into the handle. It has various uses. Oh, that wasn't a checkpoint anyway. Alright, well, never mind. I'll keep going until I get to a mission break. The fuck? No one wants to ask who is Dante. I just want to ask why is Dante. Oh, that was the end of the chapter. Future Marstead, you are about to do, I'll tell you the name of the mission. You're about to do Mission 17, Inner Demons. I encourage you to pull up the wiki page for it. You don't necessarily need to follow it, but just look at the order of the room names so that you don't feel like you're accidentally backtracking. You might not backtrack and maybe it'll be fine. but the last couple levels have involved you going back to rooms you've been in before, or at least rooms that look like rooms you've been in before, so it could be a little confusing. Nothing like some cooldown jump pads. It's Devil May Cry. Good luck. Do your best.